The stars stretched across the void like diamonds scattered on black velvet. Earth's newest research vessel, Horizon, glided silently through the orbit of Talnix 7, a remote colony planet at the edge of human-influenced space. Its mission was simple: survey potential energy sources and gather data to help humanity thrive in the galaxy. The crew had no illusions about danger. After all, most alien species considered humans weak, slow, and not worth attention. Commander Lina Rojas, the mission leader, watched the planet below. "Sensors are showing energy signatures similar to what we hoped for," she said. Her voice carried excitement but also a shadow of concern. "We should begin scans immediately, but stay alert. Something doesn't feel right." Her instincts were correct. Suddenly, a flicker appeared on the sensors. A fleet of ships, sleek and jagged, unmistakably hostile. They moved with terrifying speed, cutting through space like predators. "Unknown vessels approaching fast," Lina announced. "They're not responding to hails." The crew scrambled. Horizon was equipped for scientific missions, not battle. Its small defensive turrets were no match for what was coming. Yet Lina refused panic. "All crew brace for impact. Activate emergency protocols. This is not a drill." The raiders struck without warning. Beams of alien energy tore through Horizon's hull. The ship shuddered violently as alarms screamed across the bridge. Crew members held onto consoles, their faces pale. Lina shouted orders, but each moment counted against them. Even as the Horizon fought back with its weak defenses, the raiders were ruthless. Systems failed one by one and a critical explosion rocked the ship. Lina realized the truth. The aliens weren't here to negotiate. They wanted the human technology, and they would take it by force. In the midst of chaos, Lieutenant Samir Patel spoke into his comm, voice shaking. "Commander, they've disabled the engines. We can't escape." Lina clenched her jaw. "We fight. We hold them as long as we can. Alert Earth Command. Tell them, we are under attack." But before the message could leave, the aliens fired a final, devastating strike. Horizon broke apart like glass in the void. Alarms, lights, and communications died simultaneously. Only fragments of the vessel remained, scattered across the planet's orbit. Below, Talnix 7's colony sent its own distress signal. The raiders landed, capturing key scientists and stealing research data. They moved with cold efficiency, leaving destruction in their wake. On Earth, news of the attack spread like wildfire. Screens in homes, public squares, and command centers broadcast footage from survivors' last transmissions. Humanity had not faced an existential threat like this in decades, yet the initial shock was compounded by disbelief. In the Galactic Council, alien representatives watched with mild interest, not concern. "Humans?" murmured a lizard-like delegate. "Why should we care? They barely manage themselves in their own system." Another voice, serpentine and sharp, added, "It is unfortunate, but their suffering is not our responsibility. Let them learn." The Council's indifference enraged Earth's leaders. Humanity had always followed the rules of the galaxy, abiding by treaties and respecting interstellar law. And yet, here were aliens attacking humans and expecting no consequences. At Earth Command Headquarters, President Amina Cheng slammed her fist on the table. Her face was steely, controlled, but her eyes burned with fury. "They think we are weak. They think we will beg. They are wrong. Humans do not beg." Her advisors glanced at one another, knowing the danger. Earth had a growing fleet and advanced weaponry, but no one had ever seen it used in full force outside defensive operations. The Council assumed humanity was a paper tiger, strong in theory, weak in practice. President Chung turned to Admiral Cale Morgan, the military genius whose strategies had long been underestimated. "Cale, what do you suggest?" she asked. Admiral Morgan's expression was calm, almost cold. "We strike back, but not like others. We will show them what humanity is capable of, not just force, strategy, courage, and precision." "Are you certain?" one advisor asked nervously. This could provoke war with multiple species. The Council may retaliate against us. Kyle shook his head. The Council has already shown they won't act. They chose inaction while humans were slaughtered. The galaxy must learn a lesson. Do not underestimate Earth. And so, the wheels of retaliation began to turn. Meanwhile, survivors from Horizon were transported to nearby human colonies. They were bruised, exhausted, and traumatized, yet alive. Lina Rojas, battered but determined, addressed the survivors. We lost the ship, yes, but they underestimated us. We survived because we adapt, because we fight. And we will make them pay, not for vengeance but to protect all humans in the galaxy. The media picked up the survivors' stories. Across Earth, people watched in disbelief. Humans, so often dismissed as minor players, were now being presented as unbroken, united, and enraged. Citizens mobilized, offering support in every way possible, from technology upgrades to volunteering for fleet operations. Scientists worked day and night, creating new defensive and offensive technologies. Engineers tested weapons that could adapt mid-combat. AI systems learned from simulations, predicting enemy strategies humans had never seen. Earth's leaders made one thing clear: the retaliation would be swift, precise, and unavoidable. But the Council remained unconcerned. Aliens whispered among themselves, mocking humanity's perceived arrogance. They can barely defend one planet, said a crustacean delegate. How will they threaten us? That arrogance only fueled human determination. Every corner of Earth was alive with preparation. Pilots trained tirelessly in simulators. Engineers refined stealth technology. Strategists planned multiple counterattacks simultaneously. Admiral Morgan walked through the hangars where human warships were being upgraded. They think fear will keep us in line, he said to a young officer, but fear is irrelevant to humans. Adaptation, courage, and unity, those are what make us dangerous. The young officer nodded, inspired. We will make them regret underestimating us, sir. Not just regret, Morgan said. We will make them respect us. And that respect will not come from words. It will come from action. As night fell over Earth, the planet seemed calm from space. Yet beneath the surface, a storm was brewing. Humanity was preparing to demonstrate something no one expected. That survival alone was not enough for humans. They demanded respect, and they would take it by force if necessary. Across the galaxy, the Council still underestimated them. Across the systems, aliens laughed quietly at human threats. But in hidden laboratories, orbiting stations, and secret shipyards, humans were planning a response that would shock the galaxy to its core. The first spark of retaliation was already alight, and when humanity struck, there would be no turning back. For the first time, the Council, and all who considered humans weak, would see the full fury of a species driven by survival, ingenuity, and an unbreakable will. The galaxy had dismissed Earth. That mistake would cost them dearly. Earth had changed overnight. The attack on Horizon and Talnix 7 had shaken every corner of the planet. Yet, instead of despair, it sparked a fierce determination. Humanity was no longer content to wait for protection from the Galactic Council, nor would it allow any alien species to think humans were weak. In Earth Command headquarters, President Amina Cheng paced in her office, her eyes fixed on the hollow screen showing maps of the galaxy. Every attack, every ship lost, and every stolen technology point to a simple truth. Humans needed to strike back, and strike decisively. Admiral Cale Morgan stood beside her, calm and collected, as always. We cannot simply respond with what we have, he said. We must think beyond conventional warfare. The aliens do not understand how humans fight. They underestimate our creativity, our adaptability, and our unity under pressure. That is our advantage. Then what is your plan? President Chung asked, leaning forward. Morgan smiled slightly. We build, we train, and we prepare to hit when they least expect it. And we will do so with precision. Every strike will be calculated, every movement deliberate. We will not waste lives. But we will show them the cost of underestimating Earth. Upgrading the fleet. The first step was the fleet. Earth's warships were already advanced, but they were designed mostly for defense and patrolling human space. They were not built for the aggressive strikes required to confront a coalition of hostile alien forces. In massive orbital shipyards, engineers worked around the clock. Old vessels were retrofitted with adaptive weaponry, capable of changing frequency and intensity mid-combat to penetrate even the most advanced alien shields. Stealth modules were enhanced, making the ships nearly invisible to standard detection systems. AI systems were upgraded as well. These were not ordinary computers. They could analyze enemy behavior in real time and suggest unconventional tactics to commanders in the heat of battle. They could predict ambushes, reroute energy to shields when needed, and even coordinate attacks across multiple ships without human intervention. "Humans are clever," said one young engineer to another, eyes shining as she adjusted a ship's targeting array. "If the aliens think numbers matter more than strategy, they are going to learn the hard way." Even the small, fast assault ships, designed for agility rather than power, were enhanced with micro-jamming devices, allowing them to confuse enemy sensors. Every detail mattered. Humans were creating a force that was not only strong but unpredictable. Training the cruise ships alone were not enough. Humans needed crews who could think on their feet, adapt in the moment, and execute plans flawlessly under extreme pressure. Simulation chambers buzzed with activity. Pilots trained in zero-gravity simulators, facing scenarios far beyond what any alien fleet might throw at them. They learned to make split-second decisions when engines failed, weapons jammed, or enemy ships appeared from unexpected angles. Officers practiced battlefield tactics using holographic war games, where scenarios were randomized and constantly evolving. The AI would simulate alien intelligence, making the humans react to unpredictable strategies. Some simulations were brutal. Pilots and commanders lost thousands of ships in virtual space, but that was intentional. Each failure taught them how to improvise, how to survive, and how to win. "Humans don't just follow orders," said Morgan to a group of young officers during a training session. "We think, we adapt, and we innovate. That is why we are dangerous. Remember, the galaxy believes we are weak. Their mistake is underestimating our ability to learn and to fight in ways they cannot predict." Diplomatic warnings and underestimation. While Earth prepared, messages were sent to the Galactic Council. They were not pleas, but warnings. Humanity made it clear. Any further attacks would be met with swift and overwhelming retaliation. The Council, as expected, dismissed the messages. Aliens whispered among themselves, mocking humans for daring to threaten what they considered superior species. "They are bluffing," said a spindly, insectoid delegate. "Earth cannot project power beyond their system. They will break themselves against the coalition." "They are emotional creatures," hissed another. "They react too quickly without logic. Let them prepare. Let them waste their strength." Their arrogance only fueled humanity's resolve. If the Council would not protect humans, then humans would protect themselves and make the galaxy respect them. Human ingenuity, in action preparation, was not only about brute strength. Humans used their creativity in ways no alien species could anticipate. Scientists developed decoy ships, cheap drones that mimicked the signatures of full-sized warships, confusing sensors and luring enemies into traps. Engineers worked on modular weapons capable of switching between energy, kinetic, and electronic attacks in seconds. Even logistics were handled with precision. Human supply ships could operate autonomously, repairing fleets in deep space and delivering resources where needed. No alien army had considered the efficiency of human planning combined with adaptability. In secret laboratories, experiments tested adaptive shields that could learn from enemy attacks in real time. A shield hit by one type of laser would reconfigure to resist it immediately, making repeated attacks far less effective. "They think they can hit us the same way twice, said Morgan, observing a test. "They will be shocked when the same attack fails again and again." Public support and unity. Humans did not prepare in secret alone. Across Earth, people rallied in support of the fleet. Engineers volunteered for ship upgrades. Scientists worked double shifts to accelerate weapons and defense projects. Civilians contributed in smaller ways, from coding support systems to providing food and supplies for military personnel. Media coverage highlighted human courage and ingenuity. People watched as their leaders and soldiers transformed an initial tragedy into a force that could stand against the galaxy's greatest threats. This unity created a sense of unstoppable purpose. In streets, schools, and spaceports, humans spoke, in one voice, "We will not be weak, we will not be ignored." Strategic Planning Admiral Morgan assembled a team of commanders and strategists in a secure war room orbiting Earth. Holographic maps of the galaxy rotated above the table, showing the coalition's fleets, supply lines, and weak points. Attack is not just about destroying ships, Morgan explained. It is about precision, timing, and creating psychological impact. We will strike where they least expect us. We will hit key locations that will destabilize their command. And we will show the galaxy that humans are not to be underestimated. A young officer raised her hand. "Sir, what about civilian populations? We do not want to be seen as ruthless killers." Morgan nodded. "Correct. We strike only at military targets. Precision is our weapon. Collateral damage will be minimal, but the message must be clear. Attack humans, and you will face consequences unlike anything you imagined." The Council of Human Commanders agreed. Every operation was planned to demonstrate both efficiency and morality, something alien species had rarely considered in warfare. First steps toward retaliation. By the time Earth's preparations were complete, the human fleet had grown far beyond what the galaxy expected. Ships were stealthy, adaptable, and equipped with advanced AI. Crews were trained to improvise and adapt. Weapons could strike in multiple forms, and defenses could learn and react in real time. Admiral Morgan stood on the observation deck of Earth's flagship, intrepid, watching the fleet assemble in orbit. Thousands of ships glinted under the suns. Reflection, ready to leave for the outer colonies. "Remember," he said to the assembled commanders, "we do not strike for revenge. We strike to protect our people and to make the galaxy respect humanity. Every move must be precise. Every strike must teach them a lesson they will never forget." The fleet's engines hummed, stealth systems activated, weapons were primed, every ship and crew member was ready. The first wave of human retaliation was set to launch in hours. The Council's mistake. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council remained unaware of the true scale of human preparation. They continued to underestimate Earth, believing the humans' warnings were empty threats. "They are children playing at war," sneered a reptilian delegate. "They cannot harm us." That arrogance would soon prove fatal. Unseen by the Council, Earth's fleet had already begun positioning itself in hidden orbits, ready to strike at multiple points simultaneously. The galaxy had dismissed humans, mocked them, and expected them to remain powerless. They were about to be shocked. The darkness of space was absolute, broken only by the faint glow of distant stars. In the shadow of a dead moon orbiting a minor colony, a small fleet of human warships waited in near invisibility. Their engines were silent, their shields cloaked, and their crews tense but focused. Admiral Cale Morgan stood on the bridge of the flagship, intrepid, gazing at the holographic displays before him. Red dots marked the positions of enemy ships scattered across the system. The alien coalition believed they were safe. Their patrols were routine, their defenses predictable. They had no idea humanity was here or what was coming. "Positions confirmed," Morgan said quietly. "Everyone knows their role. Remember, precision, speed, and adaptability. We strike only where necessary, but we strike hard." Commander Lena Rojas, now part of the strike force after surviving Horizon's destruction, nodded. "Sir, all assault ships are ready. Drones are in position for the decoy operations. The main force will follow the plan exactly." Morgan's eyes narrowed. "Good. Let's remind the galaxy what humans can do." The assault begins. Suddenly, the silence broke. Microdrones designed to mimic full-sized ships slipped into enemy sensor grids. They appeared on alien displays as massive warships approaching from multiple directions. The Coalition fleet shifted, scrambling to respond. Then the real attack hit. Human stealth ships emerged from shadowed orbits, striking simultaneously at the alien outposts' key weapons arrays. Energy beams cut through defenses, disabling turrets and communications before the aliens could even understand what was happening. Target destroyed, Lena reported as her ship launched a pulse to disable an enemy sensor array. They don't know what hit them. Every human ship executed maneuvers with split-second precision. Drones distracted and misled enemy sensors, while attack ships struck from unexpected angles. The aliens had trained for conventional tactics, but humans had invented something new. Chaos in the enemy ranks. The Coalition leaders panicked. Ships collided in the confusion, weapons fired on their own allies, and communications went haywire. Orders were misinterpreted. The aliens realized too late that they had been outsmarted. One alien commander shouted into his comm, voice cracking. "What is this? They appear everywhere and nowhere. Halt your attack." But there was no halt. Human crews adapted as the situation evolved, anticipating every reaction. AI systems suggested movements faster than the aliens could process. Every hit was precise, every move unexpected. Lena gritted her teeth as her ship swooped around a massive enemy cruiser. They thought numbers would win. They forgot humans fight differently. We do not fear. We adapt. Tactical brilliance. The human fleet's tactics were unlike anything the aliens had encountered. Ships operated in small independent units, striking targets and retreating before counterattacks could be mounted. They used stealth corridors, hidden behind asteroids and nebulae, to move unseen. "Engage adaptive shields," Morgan commanded. "Their energy beams won't touch us again the same way twice." Human engineers had designed the shields to learn from attacks. A laser that hit once would be neutralized the next second. A missile that tracked a ship would lose its lock as human AI predicted its trajectory and rerouted energy to engines. The aliens tried to respond, but every strategy they attempted failed. Their arrogance had left them unprepared for humans' unpredictability, precision strikes, and moral warfare. Despite the overwhelming advantage, humans avoided unnecessary destruction. Their attacks targeted only military infrastructure. Supply depots, shipyards, and communications hubs were destroyed, but civilian areas remained untouched. "This is important," Morgan told his commanders during the operation. "We are showing them that humans fight with honor. We are powerful, yes, but we are not reckless killers." That message will resonate across the galaxy. Alien leaders, however, were too stunned to consider morality. They were struggling just to survive the Yao attack. Every destroyed cruiser, every disabled turret, and every misfired beam added to their confusion. A new reputation for humans across the galaxy, reports began to leak. Minor alien factions received intercepted communications and transmissions from the battle. Word spread quickly. Humans had struck the Coalition with incredible precision, hitting key targets, avoiding civilians, and moving faster than anyone thought possible. In the Galactic Council, panic began to ripple through the chambers. The same delegates who had laughed at human warnings now whispered nervously. "They were weak," hissed one. "They are not this strong." "They are clever," said another, "and ruthless, in a way we did not expect." The Council had ignored the humans, assuming that fear, politics, and numbers would keep them in line. Now they were realizing their mistake. Unexpected alliances, even some minor alien species, long oppressed by the Coalition, began to side with humans, offering intelligence, safe passage, and resources. They had observed humans' precision, their morality, and their ability to adapt. For species tired of Coalition tyranny, humanity suddenly seemed like a beacon of hope. Lena's ship intercepted a message from a small alien faction. "We will assist you. Your strategy is honorable and effective. Let us join." Morgan smiled. "Humans inspire more than fear. We inspire respect. That is why we fight smarter, not just harder." turning the tide. By the time the first strike was complete, the coalition fleet was in disarray. Commanders had lost control over their forces. Communications were jammed. Supply lines were severed. Ships had been destroyed, captured, or forced into retreat. On one battlefront, an alien general finally admitted defeat. "We underestimated them," he said, eyes wide with disbelief. "We believed fear would stop them, but fear does not exist in humans. Only action, only ingenuity." Humans did not celebrate. They were not arrogant. Every commander knew this. Was just the first step. But the success had a profound effect on morale. Earth's fleets and colonies now knew they could face any enemy if humans combined strategy, technology, and courage. The Council's silence, as the dust settled, messages reached the Galactic Council. Images of the destroyed coalition facilities, intercepted transmissions, and reports from minor alien factions left the Council speechless. Delegates could not believe what they were seeing. Humans, whom they had mocked and ignored, had struck, a coalition with unmatched precision and minimal losses. The room, once filled with confident chatter, now held only stunned silence. One elder delegate whispered, almost in fear, "The humans. They are not what we expected. We have misjudged them entirely." No one spoke after that. For the first time in recorded history, the Council, the galaxy's highest authority, had nothing to say in response. They had been shocked into silence. Reflections of the humans back on the Intrepid. Admiral Morgan looked out at the stars. The first strike had been successful, but he remained calm. "This is only the beginning," he said quietly. Lena and her crew nodded, understanding the weight of his words. "This is the message," Morgan continued. "Humans are not weak. Humans do not beg. And humans will not be ignored." Across the fleet, the mood was tense but determined. Every officer, pilot, and engineer knew that the galaxy would never look at humanity the same way again. The first strike's lessons. Battle taught the humans valuable lessons. Their technology worked, their tactics were effective, and their ability to improvise was unmatched. Every ship, every crew member, every drone had contributed to success. But more importantly, humanity realized something about themselves. They were stronger than anyone had given them credit for, not just in force, but in courage, morality, and ingenuity. The aliens had attacked expecting an easy victory. Instead, they had been outmaneuvered, outsmarted, and outclassed. And the galaxy had witnessed it. A warning to the galaxy as the human fleet returned to a safe orbit. Communications were sent to every major system. Every alien faction received the same message. Humanity will not be ignored. Attack humans, and you will face consequences. We do not fight recklessly, but we do fight with precision, honor, and determination. Remember this. The message spread like wildfire. Even distant systems felt the weight of humanity's first strike. For the first time, species across the galaxy began to wonder, what else were humans capable of? The calm. Before the storm, in the quiet aftermath, humans tended to their wounded, repaired their ships, and analyzed the battle. The first strike had been a success, but the war was only beginning. Admiral Morgan stood on the bridge, watching the stars stretch endlessly before him. "They think we are weak," he said. "They have learned otherwise, but we must remain ready. The galaxy will react, and when it does, we must be prepared to show them the full extent of humanity." Lena looked at him, pride and determination in her eyes. "Then let's make sure the next time they underestimate us, it will be the last mistake they ever make." The galaxy had never seen a display like this before. Systems that had once dismissed humanity were now whispering about Earth's fleet and its sudden, precise strikes. Every newsfeed, transmission, and intercepted communication carried the same message. Humans were unpredictable, clever, and terrifying in their efficiency. In the Galactic Council chambers, the atmosphere had shifted dramatically. Aliens who had previously scoffed at human warnings now exchanged nervous glances. The Council delegates had been stunned into silence after the first strike. But this was only the beginning. A serpentine delegate slithered forward, voice trembling. We underestimated them. Their technology, their tactics, their precision. It is unlike anything we have seen. An insectoid delegate clicked nervously. They avoided civilian casualties. Their moral code in warfare. It is frighteningly effective. They are not mere humans. They are predators disguised as innocents. The room was quiet. Even the elder delegates, those who had ruled the council for centuries, had no words. They had never encountered a species capable of combining strategic brilliance, technological superiority, and morality in battle. Human forces strike again. Back in human-controlled space, Admiral Cale Morgan coordinated the next phase. The first strike had shocked the coalition, but it had also revealed weak points in alien logistics and command structures. Now, humans would exploit them fully. "Deploy the secondary fleet," Morgan said, voice calm but commanding. "Hit their command centers and supply hubs simultaneously. Use stealth corridors. Minimize casualties where possible. Let them see the consequences of underestimating humans." Commander Lina Rojas prepared her squadron. "All drones and stealth. Units in position, sir. The coalition won't know what hit them." Humans moved like shadows. Ships slipped past patrols, striking multiple sectors at once. Supply lines were cut, energy depots destroyed, and command outposts disabled. The coalition struggled to respond. Their fleet disorganized and demoralized. Even small alien factions that had long suffered under the coalition's rule began sending messages of support to humans. They provided intelligence, resources, and safe routes for fleets. For many species, humanity had become a symbol of hope, a force capable of challenging the tyranny of larger alien powers. The coalition in disarray. Coalition leaders, once confident, now panicked. Ships collided in crowded orbitals. Orders were misread. Communications failed. Some commanders refused to fight, fearing the humans' unpredictability. An alien general roared in frustration. "They strike with honor, yet they are everywhere at once. How can we fight a species that anticipates our every move?" Another cried out, "Their fleet. It is not just powerful, it is organized, adaptive, and ruthless in efficiency. We underestimated them." Chaos reigned across multiple sectors. The coalition's carefully constructed dominance was crumbling under the sheer ingenuity and coordination of human forces. Psychological warfare. Humans understood the psychological side of war. They knew fear could be as powerful as weapons. Every strike, every maneuver, every tactical innovation was designed to send a message. Humanity was not weak, it was not predictable, and it would not be ignored. The Galactic Council received intercepted transmissions from the coalition. Images of their fleets in ruin, messages from terrified commanders, and reports of defeated outposts filled their channels. For the first time, the Council saw the human approach to warfare, precise, ethical, and highly adaptive. A fleet of humans could outsmart and outmaneuver a numerically superior enemy without unnecessary destruction. This is impossible," muttered a reptilian delegate. "They are more advanced in strategy than even the elder species. They fight with logic and courage combined. No one had ever seen such a combination, and they could not deny it." A message to the council amid the chaos. Admiral Morgan decided it was time to address the council directly, not with threats, but with a demonstration of humanity's resolve. Using secure channels, the intrepid broadcast a message to every member of the Galactic Council. "We do not seek conquest. We do not seek chaos. Humanity strikes to protect itself, its people, and its future. We will not beg, we will not surrender, and we will not be ignored. Respect humanity, or face the consequences of underestimation. The choice is yours." The message stunned the council. Silence reigned for minutes as delegates processed what they had just seen and heard. A single human ship, speaking for an entire species, had challenged the entire galaxy's perception of strength, strategy, and morality. Even those who had once dismissed humans as insignificant began to reconsider. Humanity was no longer a minor species. It was a force to be respected. unity and strategy. Among humans back on the fleet, humans remained focused. Victory was not the goal. Control, respect, and preparation for the next stage were. Every officer, pilot, and crew member understood that. Lina Rojas observed the aftermath of a successful strike. "We have them on the run," she said, eyes scanning her tactical display. "But the council is still out there. They may act next." Morgan nodded. "We fight with intelligence, not just power. Every action teaches the galaxy something about humanity. Every victory reshapes their expectations." The fleet moved silently, repairing damage, gathering intelligence, and preparing for the next series of strikes. Humanity's approach combined speed, precision, and moral restraint, creating a pattern no alien species had ever encountered. Minor factions began to ally as humans continued their strikes. More alien factions began to shift their loyalties. Systems that had lived under coalition control for centuries started sending resources and intelligence to the humans. A minor species, the Varans, communicated with Earth Command. "Your tactics are honorable. We will provide information on hidden coalition routes. Together we can end the coalition's tyranny." Morgan smiled. "Humans inspire more than fear. They inspire respect. Even the smallest species can make a difference when they follow the right example." The galaxy was watching. Minor factions were beginning to see humanity as a force for change, a species capable of shaking even the most powerful alliances. The coalition fights back, but fails. The coalition attempted a counterattack, assembling a fleet far larger than humans. But Morgan anticipated this move. Stealth ships flanked the larger fleet, disabling communication arrays. Adaptive shields neutralized direct assaults. Human AI coordinated attacks with precision the aliens could not match. "Keep the pressure," Morgan instructed. "Do not allow them to regroup. Every mistake they make is a lesson for the galaxy." The alien fleet, despite its size, fell into predictable patterns. Humans exploited each one, striking weak points and disrupting cohesion. The coalition realized too late that raw power was meaningless against strategy, adaptability, and moral focus. Shaking the Galactic Council, across the council chambers, delegates watched intercepted footage of their allies in defeat. Panic replaced arrogance. Even long-standing elder species felt a creeping unease. Humans had demonstrated something that no one had ever seen before: the ability to combine intellectual strategy, moral warfare, and tactical brilliance in a single, overwhelming force. A reptilian elder finally spoke, voice shaking. "The humans, they are not what we thought. We must reconsider our policies, our alliances, everything." Another whispered, "They have changed the rules of the galaxy. We cannot ignore them anymore." For the first time, the Council had no choice but to acknowledge the human threat and the human capability. Silence had been replaced by awe, fear, and respect. Human morality and restraint. Even with the coalition crumbling, humans maintained their moral compass. They avoided civilian areas, repaired minor damage where possible, and ensured that their strikes served a purpose beyond destruction. "This is what sets us apart," Morgan said during a strategy meeting. "We win, yes, but we win with honor. Every action we take proves that humanity is not only strong but ethical. That is why the galaxy will remember us." Lina nodded. "We are showing that humans are dangerous, but also principled. That combination is unprecedented." The calm. Before the final stage, by the end of the campaign's current phase, the coalition was fractured. Command structures were destroyed, fleets were in retreat, and morale had collapsed. Minor factions aligned with humans, and the Galactic's Council, once indifferent, was forced to sit in stunned silence. Morgan stood on the bridge of Intrepid, watching the stars stretch endlessly. "We have made our point," he said. "The galaxy now knows. Humans are clever, courageous, and disciplined. But our work is not done. The final stage begins when the Council realizes they can no longer ignore humanity. And when that happens, they will see our full strength." Across Earth, celebrations were quiet but meaningful. Humanity had not only struck back, they had reshaped the galaxy's perception of them. The first wave of retaliation had succeeded. The message was clear. Humans would not be underestimated. The galaxy was silent. Systems that had once mocked humanity now watched in disbelief. The coalition had been shattered. Minor factions had aligned with Earth, and even the Galactic Council, the highest authority in known space, had no words for what had just occurred. Admiral Cale Morgan stood on the deck of the flagship Intrepid overlooking the assembled fleet. Thousands of human ships glinted in the starlight, ready to continue strikes if needed, but their orders were clear. Only defend, only retaliate when necessary. Humanity was not a conquering force. Humanity was a force to be respected. "This is the final stage," Morgan said, voice calm but firm. "We do not strike recklessly. We act with precision. We act with honor. And when the galaxy witnesses us now, they will understand that humans are not to be underestimated." Commander Lina Rojas, now a battle-hardened leader, nodded. "We've taught them lessons in every sector, sir. Every move has been calculated, every strike has sent the same message. Humans fight with intelligence, courage, and morality." Morgan's eyes narrowed as he studied the strategic holograms. "And now we must show them our full capacity, not just in force but in strategy, unity, and principle." Final strikes against the coalition. The coalition, though broken, still had remnants of fleets scattered across isolated systems. Human intelligence had tracked them meticulously. Every remaining enemy ship, every outpost, every supply line became a target for precise strikes. The first step was to disable communication networks. Stealth ships slipped into hidden orbits, cutting transmissions, scrambling data, and leaving coalition commanders blind and disorganized. The second step involved targeting key military installations. Humans struck swiftly and surgically, destroying weapon systems, supply depots, and command hubs. No civilians were harmed. "Remember," Morgan instructed, "we strike for necessity, not for revenge." Every move teaches the galaxy that humanity is efficient, ethical, and unyielding. Drones acted as decoys, drawing the enemy into traps, while attack ships exploited vulnerabilities in unexpected ways. AI systems coordinated attacks across vast distances, predicting enemy maneuvers and adjusting strategies in real time. Coalition forces were helpless. What remained of their fleets collapsed under the precision of human strikes. Commanders who had once laughed at Earth were now begging for ceasefires, realizing too late the consequences of underestimating humans. The psychological impact. The remaining alien leaders feared not only the humans' power, but their intelligence and ethics. The same force that could destroy fleets also spared civilians. The same species that struck fear into enemies acted with honor and clarity of purpose. Across the galaxy, whispers spread. Humans are unpredictable. They combine morality with strategy and strength. We misjudge them. We will not make that mistake again. Even the Galactic Council, once indifferent, could not ignore these messages. Delegates sat in their chambers watching intercepted transmissions of humans performing precise strikes, coordinating fleets, and avoiding unnecessary harm. A reptilian elder finally spoke, voice shaking. "The humans. They have changed the rules of engagement. They are not merely strong, they are clever, disciplined, and honorable. We underestimated them entirely." For the first time in galactic history, silence gave way to fear mixed with respect. The Galactic Council responds, recognizing the futility of ignoring humanity. The Council convened an emergency session. Every member knew the humans were no longer a species to be dismissed. President Amina Cheng addressed the delegates via secure communication. "Humanity does not seek conquest. We seek respect. We will defend ourselves, our people, and our colonies. The actions you have witnessed are not acts of aggression for personal gain. They are acts of protection and demonstration of principle." The Council listened, stunned by both the words and the weight behind them. Earth's fleets were prepared, their strategies flawless, their morality intact. No other species had ever combined these qualities so effectively. After long deliberation, The Council reached a historic decision. Earth would be granted a permanent seat in the Council, complete with veto power on decisions affecting humanity. "This is unprecedented," whispered a serpent-like delegate. "A species that was ignored, underestimated, and mocked is now a recognized power. Humanity has earned their place." Humanity's moral victory. Even as recognition came, humans did not act arrogantly. The fleet maintained defensive positions, ensuring no further destruction occurred. Civilians across the galaxy were safe. Minor alien factions that had joined humans were treated with respect and gratitude, not dominance. Lena watched as her squadron docked at a human-controlled orbital station. "We have done more than win battles," she said quietly. "We've changed the galaxy's perception of humanity." Morgan smiled. "Yes, strength alone can intimidate. Morality alone can inspire. But strength combined with honor, courage, and intelligence, that is how humans command respect, and that is why the galaxy will remember us." The aftermath of Retaliation coalition remnants were either surrendered or neutralized. Systems once under threat now stabilized under local governance, with humans offering support and guidance, never interference. Humans had demonstrated that power could coexist with principle. Back on Earth, celebrations were quiet but profound. Citizens had witnessed the full extent of human capability, technological mastery, strategic brilliance, courage under fire, and moral restraint. The planet had shown the galaxy that humans were unpredictable, formidable, and worthy of respect. Admiral Morgan addressed the planet via holo-transmission. "People of Earth, the galaxy now knows the truth. Humanity will not be ignored. We have defended our people, protected the innocent, and shown our strength. But remember, this is not the end. Our place in the galaxy is secured, but our vigilance must continue. Humanity has earned respect, and we must honor it in every action we take from this day forward." The new galactic order. With humanity's recognition came a ripple effect. Minor species that had suffered under the coalition now felt empowered to negotiate directly with the Council. The galaxy's political balance shifted, alliances were reconsidered, treaties rewritten, and humanity's seat at the Council became a symbol of what a species could achieve when underestimated. The Galactic Council, once indifferent and arrogant, now approached humanity with caution, respect, and a new awareness. Earth was no longer to be dismissed. Even the coalition's former leaders sent delegations seeking dialogue, acknowledging the humans' power and strategy. Humanity had not conquered. They had demonstrated capability, moral, leadership, and strength in combination. The galaxy was forced to adapt to this new reality. Humans reflect on their journey. Admiral Morgan walked through the corridors of the Intrepid, observing crews maintaining ships, analyzing reports, and preparing for any future contingencies. He paused, reflecting on how far humanity had come. "They thought fear would stop us," he said softly to Lena. "They believed numbers and politics were stronger than ingenuity, courage, and principle. They were wrong." Lena nodded. "We fought not just to survive, but to prove something bigger, what humanity is capable of, and we did it without losing our honor." Morgan smiled. "Exactly. That is why humans will never be underestimated again. We have earned our place not through terror, but through excellence in all that we do, technology, strategy, and morality combined." A galaxy forever changed. The galaxy had witnessed something remarkable. A species once considered weak had risen to challenge the strongest powers with intelligence, precision, and honor. Humans had demonstrated that strength without principle is hollow, and principle without strength is powerless. Systems across the stars spoke of humans with a mixture of awe, fear, and respect. Where once humans were dismissed, they were now listened to, their advice valued, their capabilities feared, and their courage admired. Minor alien factions celebrated humanity as liberators and protectors. Coalition remnants realized the full cost of underestimating a species that combined ingenuity, ethics, and relentless determination.